Good afternoon, y'all. This is Walt. I'm out here trying to do some brakes, and we're making things happen. I hope y'all are enjoying my one video so far on the channel. I do have another channel I've been focused on. It was 74 Nova reclaimed, and it's reclaimed and sitting on the other side of the shop, so we had to come up with a different name for a different channel for what we do around here. And I couldn't think nothing better than making things happen. So anyway, what I'm going to do is attempt to set this phone up and get some content of what I'm doing here and how I'm going about disassembling this brake assembly on the rear drum of a 1974 Chevy Nova. First, what I done was took pictures of all the placement of the springs and gears and the star adjusting wheel. Now, instead of touching it, because that brake dust and brake grease, dirt, all that stuff is really hard to get off the skin. It's kind of like axle grease. So we're going to prepare here and put some vinyl gloves on and see if they can help save our fingerprints from getting drastically dirty. I hope everybody out there is having a good day. Here in North Middle Tennessee, it's about, seems like it's about 50-55 degrees. It's pretty chilly, a little bit dreary out. I'm just, for the heck of it, going to spray it down a little bit. At the cost of chemicals, I want to use minimal for supplies until we go back to putting it back together. And I'm hoping that everything is aimed right on the camera. But with these spring retainers here, usually use a regular pair of pliers, or they make special tools for it. Because when you use tools like I'm using, of course, stuff flies apart. But yeah, you just take your spring retainer off and your pins, and just keep everything together so you know you don't lose no parts. Unless you got a brake hardware kit, hard to get all this stuff. But it's as simple as holding the back of the pin head on the backing plate and spinning the retainer spring around with the little cap that it has right there. And then everything starts to kind of fall apart itself. But I am filming with my phone, which is a Samsung, and hopefully she's aimed in the proper position so y'all can see what I'm doing. I haven't moved it yet. I haven't knocked into it. But now what I'll do is I'll separate this and pull my adjustment star adjuster out of here. And sometimes in scenarios this either froze up or rusted to the brake shoes. In this case, it's got a lot of grease on it, so I'm going to retract it by screwing it in. And yeah, it's kind of rusted to the shoes, and there's a spring that holds the shoes together, so I'm gonna take it out if I can. I didn't grab the right tools, so we're doing everything a little bit harder on ourselves, because usually you should be able to just, you should have enough slack to where that star adjuster will pop right out like such. And I just seen a piece of the wheel cylinder fly out, the little piston that grabs the shoe. It went in the star adjuster, the self adjuster as they call it. And then you've got a series of springs up top here that might need a little bit of, how would you say, maneuvering the springs to get them off. And I'm just going to keep everything together like it's disassembled right now until I get everything cleared off of the backing plate. Now we had this little piece fall out, and usually there's a little cap in there to hold that in there, and I don't see it. So we'll just continue taking it apart. And you have your emergency brake rods and stuff, and that will place on there like that. And I'm glad I put gloves on because I really need them on this. Okay, then that shoe just fell off like that. So if y'all see how it is, maybe you have the same setup. But yeah, the shoes got saturated, but we might be able to save them. The other piston is right there, the other little cylinder. And then you got your spring retainer, or not retainer, but the backing plate for the spring. And then your emergency brake pawl right there. And what we're gonna do is take these gloves off because they're trashed. And we saved our hands from getting too bad. Except for the palm where it ripped. You can see where it saved it. Alright, so we'll get what grease we have off, and for doing a brake job of this being this old and how long it's been since these brakes had attention, it's pretty nasty up inside of there. You have your brake dust that was in there, and the wheel cylinder has ruptured or popped the seal, and it's just nothing but brake dust and grease, which comes out to, I mean, it's really heavy, nasty stuff. So what we're going to do is take and spray this down a little bit. It'll soften some of the grease up. And then I'll go back in there in a little bit with a brush, a wire brush, and clean some of that up. Like I said, I'm trying to use minimal supplies because they're very costly. $6, $7 for a can of carburetor cleaners. Just outrageous. But anyway, that's how you disassemble the brake assembly. You've seen the shoes and everything. What we're going to do is do the other side after we get this side put back together, because I want to use that just in case I forget. I took a picture of the whole assembly the way it was beforehand. And not just that, my battery's going dead and I don't want to make this too long of a video. But we'll holler at y'all later. And I hope it came through, and I hope y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.